Hello. Hi. My name is Bash Harry. This is the Harry Knit, and this was my yarn room 2 years ago before I renovated my room and decided to move everything back up. But now I actually need a proper craft room slash studio office to finally do work. If you didn't know, I recently got married last month. And my husband moved in, which means I need to separate my space. And that also means I need a lot more space for him and a lot more space for my yarn. This room has been pretty empty, so we're gonna re-renovate it and turn it into my little studio area, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently. I am going to try my very best to keep this mini renovation under budget. So when I mean under budget, I mean under $100 to $200. Let's say $200 to be nice to me, which means I am not going to paint anything. I'm not going to remove anything, and I'm going to utilize what I have upstairs in my room as well as what we have in just the house. If I can, I will buy some new furniture just to store my yarns and things, but I think that's the general plan that we have, and I'm excited. This is definitely going to be a week or so to process and organize everything, which is fine. My one thing is I did I organized my yarn stash a few months ago, so now I'm gonna have to redo that, but I think that's okay because I just need the space and I need more furniture or at least some shelves for it. And I do have an idea for this room. I just need to clean it up and make sure it's as empty and as nice as it can be. This room is about 11 feet widthwise and 15 feet lengthwise, and it has a really nice mirror. However, it is on the ground floor, so lighting comes in and out because it is on the ground floor. So if I do plan on filming videos here, I do have to bring my lights down. I have to adjust accordingly. So I'm excited. If you want to keep watching and seeing how I transformed this room under a budget, please keep on watching. And yeah, let's get started. We might need a pivot, right? Is it the door? Okay. Oh. You'd think that wouldn't take a while, but it did take a while. Thankfully, most things in this room are now emptied out. I did put this table in. That will be my work area for my desktop, my laptop, yada, 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 which is gonna be different from where I do my knitting space. The table is put in here because it is way too heavy, and honestly, I do not wanna put that out by myself or my brother. We aren't strong enough. But I think that is as much as we can do today. I will check back with you either Friday or Saturday to put in more stuff in this room. Hello, it is me on the Saturday. I'm gonna pick up some stuff from the furniture store to put into the studio. That is the agenda for today. It's 11 o'clock. And then I'll probably start building it with the husband and maybe drag my sisters along, just so we finish up everything at least today before we bring the calyx and the mirror downstairs as well. We got the rack here. That's the other rack that we bought. And this is the table. We also got some storage boxes
and some stools. Ta-da! This is the second time this year where I reorganized my yarn. This one, however, as much as I do love it, I'm married now and my husband moved into my room, which means he needs a lot more space and I have to give up my precious yarn corner that I spent such a long time organizing, like back in April, May. That is okay though, because I'm moving all my yarn downstairs. We're turning the room into my little studio so I can work and do all my knitting and yarn and craft stuff there, which means all the stuff here that you see and a bit more on the floor that you do not will be moved downstairs. I have a bit of a plan. I don't think it's a very good plan, but it is a plan. I think I will have to put all the yarn on the floor of the studio, and then we're gonna see how it looks and then how we can organize it, because I also need a much better system in place. I hopefully will have everything sorted before the end of this week. It's Monday. I want to be done by the end of the week, at least for my yarn, and finalizing that whole studio so I can finally use it up. I feel like this room makeover has been really overdue. In hindsight, maybe I should have done this before my husband moved in, but honestly, we just did not have the time. And I really wanted to keep the space looking as it did for as long as it could. This was my room. This was where I had all my craft stuff, all my enjoyment. It was full of things that I really loved, not just yarn and needles, but my books and my makeup and art that I have just collected over the past few years of my life. Moving everything along, bringing everything downstairs, and I'm probably being dramatic here, it was a little bittersweet. It was kind of sad, almost. I'm not complaining though. I'm very grateful that I did have a space to put all my yarn for my hobbies and my craft. My family did emphasize the importance of keeping your hobbies, especially as you get older, and this is just one of the things that I have to do now. This is all the yarn that I have so far. It's a lot. And we have to bring it all downstairs. Ah.
Aisha, don't do that. Say hi to the knitting channel again. Hi. Be nice.
Okay, which one do you want to carry first?
It's not as heavy as you think.
Okay, no, okay. That means I'll carry something. I won't carry this basket. Okay. Give me this.
And then try to carry this basket. And then I will try to carry...
My ear is itchy.
Don't itch your ear.
My ear is itchy.
It's not itchy.
Are you trying to gaslight me right now?
This is a lot of yarn. Quite a lot of yarn, quite a lot to do. But it is 5 p.m. and I am sweating. I have gotten some crates that I've purchased over the past few years. I'll probably start using those. And I also want to buy some from a friend of mine, hopefully, so I can also use those. I'm thinking of separating my yarns, not just by personal collection and what I use to make items for other people or what I use when I'm teaching. I also want to separate it by weight and by use. So a lot of the yarns that I like to use, I want it in the first or the middle two shelves, and work equipment like maybe the knitting machines or even my camera equipment will be at the bottom, which is a lot more accessible. One thing that I wish I had was I wanted closed cabinets because of my equipment. I don't like seeing my equipment. I want it in a shelf area where it's easy to hide, but that might be a little bit difficult, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to hide my camera equipment when they're not in use. I also have a few more stuff here and there, but that's why we have the calyx to put in my sewing machine and my tools that I might need in the future. But all in all, there's still a lot to do. I don't know how long this video has taken. It feels like it just started, and it feels like I've also been doing it forever, but this is a long time coming. I recently purchased Friday Knits' stash log on her website for my yarn, because right now I was doing work the other night in the room, and then I realized this is boiling. I am sweating. The air condition is not working, so we have to get it serviced, but the only time we can do that is next week. So instead of putting all the yarn there, because the air condition is close to the shelf and I'd probably have to take everything down anyway, I am going to stash my yarn and actually write it down properly in this brief. I'll link to the one that I'm using. It's by Friday Knits, and it's really good. So far, it's been really great. I did not know you can do this much with Google Sheets, but it's been really fun. I've logged in the yarns that I've got from Australia, but I still need to do a lot more, and I'll probably just take maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow to complete it. But yeah, I think that's all I want to do today. Also, quick side note, I got these wooden sticks because I had an idea that I was going to use these as reference. So I've put down a number. So for example, this one is by Rainbow and Sparkles, and then this one is from Circus Tonic. And I thought it would be a really good idea to kind of keep them all in one place. However, one issue I have is that they're all made in skeins, so I've done a really ugly job putting them back together. So I think if I am going to do that, I will just do it in my regular balls of yarn that's already been winded up, because I think that's just a bit easier, because this looks so bad. It's so ugly, and I'm sorry, Circus Tonic, for being the tester for it. So I think I'm just gonna try that. It's a good idea in theory. I do like it. It's just I don't know how to store it without it falling apart. And also I'm getting glue everywhere because I need to stick this on somehow. It's day 3, 4. It's Tuesday. Last time I touched my yarn was Friday. So I still need to finish up the yarn. But thankfully, we are almost there. We're at the last 25% of the yarn. And once it's done, I can finally put everything into the room. The aircon is going to be serviced today because it was really, really hot. And I think I said it earlier, we can't put the yarn there because it's too close to air condition. And if they get a service, the yarn is just going to be completely dirty. So it's best we just sort out the yarn first. Then once the aircon gets serviced, once the yarn is fully completed with the yarn tracker, we can finally put everything in the room. Initially, I wanted this to be 2 separate videos, but I think I'm just going to merge it into one. Just for my sake and for the sake of brevity, I feel like that's the easiest way to go about it. I have my yarn, I've got the spreadsheet on my laptop, and I have my iPad so I could watch A Good Girl's Guide to Murder on Netflix. It is okay, it's something to watch while I'm doing work and when I'm knitting. I'm on episode 5, I think, and there's 2 episodes left, so hopefully I'll be able to finish all my work by the time I finish the episodes. Do you want a review? It's okay. I haven't read the books, so I don't know.
nothing much to say about it.
So what I'm doing here is that I am taking the yarn that I'm currently wrapping. I'm just taking a little bit, maybe like 6 inches or so. I'm doing it by eyeballing it, nothing too fancy, and I'm wrapping it around the wooden tongue dispenser / wooden stick, wrapping it a few times and tying it off. Sometimes I use glue, sometimes I doesn't. It really depends on my mood and if I really want to be so specific about my yarn. There's nothing much here. Once I'm done with that, I put in the reference number and then I will just insert any information about the yarn into the database. I highly recommend getting this one. I do like it. Obviously not sponsored, I just really like it. And as somebody who is not very good at Google Sheets, this has been so helpful for my yarn database and knowing where everything is. Let me turn on the light first. It's not very good, the lights. Whatever lights can work. They finally fixed the air condition. Now the room is okay and I'm not sweating every time I'm in it. The yarn is done. I've put a lot of stuff into this room. We just have to reorganize it. I'm thinking, you can't see it, it's off camera, but I do have these large shelves that I got. One I got maybe 2 years ago. The other one I bought quite recently because I know with the amount of yarn I have, I think I needed 2 shelves. And then this area here, this rack, I'll probably keep a lot of my pieces. And when I mean pieces, I mean designs that I make, that I need to sample, I need to take photographs of, so it could be here. All the knits that I make, by other people and other designers, I'll probably just keep it upstairs. Because, when I don't need it or if I want to throw it on, I could always wear it upstairs. This is for the rack for stuff that I need for shoots. Like the Ahad bag is coming up. I think when this video is out, it's going to come up in a week. So keep updated on that on Instagram. You can check it out. And then I will have this calyx right here that I don't know what to do with yet. I want to take out this picture frame, but I don't think I really have the space to outside, and it's very heavy, so I might need to ask someone's help for it. This room is like 50 to 75% there. I just need to make sure that everything's as good as it can be for a temporary space. Yes, I know that I just moved everything down here from my room, but this is a lot of a transition period since my husband has moved in. We are moving a lot around this house since we're still living with my parents. Saves us a lot of money. Also, there's quite a few rooms, which I'm very thankful for. And working from home is great, but my husband needs his space, I need my space. So we might be moving downstairs to a spare bedroom, which means this room would go back into a prayer room for, guests if they're plan on coming. And then my sister will take my room and I'll probably turn that room that she's using into my own studio. So that's a lot of things happening and moving and grinding over the next few months, maybe even a year. I don't think it's going to happen within this year in 2024, but there is an off chance that I will only have this room for about 6 months before everything has to go back up anyway. So that's why we're not doing too much. If I had the choice, I would have definitely renovated or changed out the carpet, but that's fine. It's not going to be my forever studio. It's just going to be what I use today. Maybe one day I would love to have my own studio and be able to work in there. But for now, I'm really happy with this space. I do have some boxes. This is the Nallig box from IKEA. And then I also got these boxes from a friend of mine who was selling them. Shout out Olfaction Lab.
here in Brunei. I would have preferred another color, but green is okay with me. I'm thinking I want to start organizing yarn by fiber, as well as whether or not I actually have them in stick form. The reason why is some yarns, particularly those that are in skeins, like this one, this is, I got this in Australia when I was in the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Festival. It is Araucania Papasayo painted cotton blend. I did not swatch this into a wooden stick, because I just have such difficulty winding this back into a skein. So I decided that the best course of action would probably just to leave it on a skein as it is. So I'm thinking of putting it into the boxes, so I know that I have the yarn, it's in a box, it's safe. Whereas the ones that are in balls, like the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino, I can kind of leave it and it should be okay. I do need to get some lavender pouches or some essential oils for this room. I heard peppermint or centrello, the orangey citrusy smell one, is good for like bug repellents, which is definitely an issue that I've had in the past. I found a bug in one of my yarns. Thankfully it didn't eat it. I need to wash that yarn. I think that is the best course of action. There's also a lot of stuff like that I need to bring from upstairs, like my sewing machine and my my knitting needles, but we're gonna take it slow. It's almost 11, it's 10:56. Let's do this for an hour, see how much we can get done, and then we break for lunch, because I went to the gym this morning and I am very hungry. I thought I was getting somewhere, but maybe not.
I was thinking a lot about how I want to reorganize my yarn, especially now that I have 2 racks to keep all of the little goodies in my stash in. What I decided was I had a lot more DK than I initially thought, so it took up quite a bit of space, but you can see here that I'm just organizing based on the vibes. There's really no other rhyme or reason except for what the fibers are. I'll explain more later on in this video, but for now, you can just see me trying to figure out where everything's going, and this was both the fun and stressful part of this whole room renovation, was figuring out where all the yarn is supposed to go.
So what I decided to do here was to separate my little yarn leftovers, you know, my yarn little scraggles that I know that I don't really need but I don't want to throw away. So there's a difference between the two separators that I've decided to do. So one basket is going to be full of the leftover skeins that is still enough where I could probably make a project out of it, maybe a stash buster, whereas the other one is going to be all the little tiny fragments of yarn that cannot be used for anything except for maybe stuffing, so I can actually use that in the future. I also have a lot of leftover mini projects like crochet and my gauge swatches that I don't need anymore. I've either used up the yarn or I don't really like the gauge that I made. I am going to keep it into one section because I do have a project coming up in October, November where I think the gauge swatches would actually be really helpful. But I'm just using some like mesh bags that I got from Wool Warehouse. It's nothing fancy, but it has helped me a lot, especially when I'm organizing and sorting out this room. This is a check-in after like 2-3 hours. She is getting there. There's still a lot of yarn. I'm thinking of redoing my section because now looking at it, I have a lot more DK than I initially thought. So right now the fingering is right here at the bottom along with the bulky weight worsted around this area, and this area is a bit empty. So part of me is thinking like, how am I going to organize this? I'm thinking of moving a lot of the worsted weight and the bulky weight to this section and then keeping the fingering and everything else kind of in this general area. We're so close to finishing. I want to be done. I have so much to do this evening. I don't have that much to do. I have the laundry, and realistically, I don't want to ask my husband to do it by himself. I want to do it with him. So we have things to do. We got to finish. Look at her. She's beautiful. The yarn corner is complete. Now we gotta work on this section, which I'm gonna call the semi-work area. The calyx is basically empty right now. I do have some knitting books that I wanna keep here. And then this section where it's like just a simple IKEA rack. It was in my room initially, but I put it in here. I'm gonna keep my sweaters here. It is 4:50, so we are moving along pretty darn well. I'm gonna see how much I can put in here, reorganize, but I also need to organize the sticks. So the sticks are done. It's not all of the yarn. I'll explain it more later, probably when we do like a tour, or maybe I'll just put it on Instagram or TikTok. But I need to separate these because I have about 5 jars. That's just all different yarns, and I have to figure out how I'm gonna order them. But let's just clean up the rest of the space. It definitely needs a vacuum once we're all done. So we're at the final stretch. Thank goodness, because I feel like I've been filming this video for like 2 weeks already, which is definitely the longest amount of time that I've spent working on a video, but also this craft room. I know in the beginning we said that we were going to try to stick to a budget, and we did-ish. The things that we bought were the shelf, or like the rack, a new Calex, but that was because me and my husband discussed it. We were just going to keep the Calex that I bought upstairs, so we decided to just buy a new one for this room. And then we bought tables and chairs, but everything else has been very under budget. We also got an air purifier, but I think that was well worth the money, especially for a room like this that can get awfully stuffy, and I could put essential oils in it. We are going to do the last 25%, just kind of filling in the space, making sure it looks nice. I brought my pegboard from IKEA down, but we don't have anything to attach it to, so maybe tomorrow or tonight I will buy some command strips and then affix it to the wall. Hopefully I can finish this video by this week and then edit it and then post it, but I don't know, we'll have to see. This video has been so long to film and edit, and I thought I was going to do the final room tour, but I think we're just going to wait until next week to do that. But if you've gone this far, thank you so much for watching me reorganize this space. It has definitely changed a lot in the past 2, maybe 3 weeks since I started this video and this process of creating a craft room that's specifically for me. Nonetheless, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will have the final room tour up next week if you want to watch that, but until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye!